bad one at that too. I mean, he's literally employed as a football manager. What's with the Ben Napier watching closely with all the lone players? Then, bro, I don't know. Because he said he hasn't had any conversations, so I don't know, man. You guys should bring back Ainsley Maitland-Niles and get rid of Eddie and Ketty. They don't play the same position, but I see where you're going. I love Arteta. I loved him as a player, but he's unexpected. We need someone with experience of winning things. I didn't love him as a player. He was all right, but I mean, he wasn't certified at all. Goes to show that supposed war chest PR. So true. You got bare dead with at Arsenal. There's bare halfway crooks, halfway in, halfway out. And I call it love dramas. Make a decision. Like I said, if Ainsley turns around, goes from mad strength to strength somewhere else, then we might say it's stupid. But double down. Either come out, puff up your chest, say Ainsley's staying or Ainsley's going. Joe's staying or Joe's going. Obviously, I'm not saying come out and say it now, but you get where I'm going. I strongly hope that we don't get to the end of the window and we've still got this. Because again, we need a reset. At minimum, we need players who there's less love dramas. Next season, let's just talk about several things, man. Arteta stifled Ainsley Maitland-Niles really hard by bringing in Cedric as right back cover and still not playing Ainsley at midfield where he prefers. What would that tell you? Your manager, who is a midfielder, was not in his days not playing you. He don't rate you. How highly do you rate Ainsley Maitland-Niles? I effing love Ainsley Maitland-Niles, man. Effing love the guy. He's adaptable. He's cool under pressure. I think all that he needs to do is develop a midfield role. What are you? I think your thing is the box-to-box sort of thing. You need to improve your end product because I don't think you're ever going to be a goal-scoring midfielder, but you need to be a bit more competent. I think he could be utilised in the squad at right back and centre mid. I rate him very highly. Do I think he's of the level of Saka and Smith-Rowe in terms of ceiling? Of course not, but I love him. He doesn't really have any attributes to play midfield. That's a bit harsh because he does. He's got legs, which, again, me, I don't praise someone for running around in midfield, but that's a bare minimum. He can play. He has got a range of passing when he wants to. He's just not going to do it consistently, for me anyways, to the level of being a midfielder. Think he could be a bit more proactive. I think he's got the raw tools, but I just don't think it's going to happen here, man. I do think he could be a really top fullback. And to a degree, Ainsley needs to be a bit ferocious in the fact of, at the end of the day, whether I want to be a midfielder or not, and if he wants to go somewhere else and do that, but where would I be if I didn't play fullback? I wouldn't have all these appearances. I wouldn't be in England international, Again, it could have been different, but I never heard this under Wenger when he was playing there, He needs to buy into it. He needs to realize that it's real life. All right, cool. You know what? I'm going to do up this right back thing. Let me do it. Lock it down. There might come a choice where Arteta will remember I'm a midfielder. Or can I have an honest conversation with Arteta? Man's a midfielder, but I'll do it right back. But can I get an opportunity when the time comes? If Arteta says no, then it's down to you to decide if I want to be a top fullback or I want to go elsewhere. You've only got one life to live. Life is short. A footballer's career is shorter. So if Ainsley wants to play midfield and he believes he can do it, either here or elsewhere, follow your heart. But I'd say make an informed decision. I'd also say numbers don't lie. For as much as Arteta has probably promised or told you and would probably tell you if you get your meeting, numbers don't lie. Look at the amount of bodies that are playing right back. Consider that a right back couple might leave, because you could arguably say the club should probably bin Cedric if we're not going to use him. But some might stay. Midfield, yes, there's openings being opened up, but how many people are going to play? It's going to be Partey and somebody else ahead of you. You're not playing in the 10. So you've got to make an educated guess, man. I'm going to try and find that actually. Arteta, Maitland-Niles can play box to box, because I remember he gassed it. And I think he's got that. I don't know, man. He's got that pep thing about him, Arteta, for me. In that, sorry for that, people. Why is it freezing? He's got that Arteta pep thing for me, in that when he gasses and overdoes it with somebody, then he doesn't play them. Or that's just how I see it, anyways. Well, yeah. So I can't find. I'll have to bring it tomorrow or something, people. But there was some. How to make it make sense? I remember his comments on Ainsley Maitland-Niles in a press conference, man. Maitland-Niles, Arteta press conference. But he literally said he could play box to box. It was like he said something like, I can play a 6, I can do this and that. And I also remember, to be fair, Arteta said he wants specialists in roles as well. I haven't really seen that, because if you want specialists, you don't throw Smith Rowe randomly false nine. You don't throw many of the bewildering decisions he's done, Willian in certain roles. But he did big up Ainsley Maitland-Niles' adaptability, man. EG, I noticed that that Aubameyang's form dipped off when Ainsley Maitland-Niles stopped being selected. There might be something in that, but I don't think the two are interlapted. I don't think Aubameyang's dip in form, as much as they're cool off the field, has anything to do with it personally. Totally agreed, EG. My point highlights Arteta's poor man management. I'd like to see Ainsley Maitland-Niles at Norwich. Man management should be better from Mikel, and I do feel bad for Ainsley. And I think whether you rate Ainsley Maitland-Niles or not, it isn't nice, innit? It isn't nice. There's too many players that are undecided in what they're doing. Ainsley Maitland-Niles is a bit underrated, but if this is his attitude, then he's got to go. I mean, what's wrong with... I mean, to be fair with you, all he said is he wants clarity. You know, there's smarter ways of going about it, but I don't think it's anything with attitude, really and truly. The man's tried to fight. You know, he's tried to fight last season in the first half of it, and he weren't playing. For whatever reason, whether he's doing something in training, maybe he needs to up it in training, or maybe the manager just don't rate him, man. Ainsley Maitland-Niles stayed and said he wants to be centre mid. When he plays right or left back, he looked unhappy, unbothered, and looked like he didn't try. Arteta did him wrong. I don't agree with he looked unbothered or unhappy or didn't try. I don't think that's the case, but fair play if that's what you believe, Tino. I think that's harsh. I think that's a bit of a personal agenda against Ainsley. Big facts, DG. These young players are too comfy at Arsenal and believe all the gas the coaches tell them. I didn't say all of them. I just feel, you know, you've got to stop being naive at some point. And remember, these men don't care about you. They care about what you do. It's like you lot don't care about me. You care about the fact that I talk about football and you either disagree, agree, or whatever. I provide some sort of value. You don't care about me. You care about the service I'm offering. It's same like you lot at your jobs. Your manager doesn't care about you. He cares about what you offer. At some point, this is where life goes. To be fair, I did think people were overdoing the Martinelli one, but I do agree didn't play him enough at all. He didn't want to play for us that bad, bro, if he's still worrying about where he's playing. I mean, to be fair, he wasn't even getting selected at fullback once upon a time, and he was only getting chances at left back when he was injured. A man's allowed to play where he wants. I do hear you, but we got to be a bit sensible, Peter, man, and that's not fair on any player, really and truly. If he sees himself as a centre mid and wants an opportunity, there is within his rights to do such. We've got man like Guendouzi with potential, and he can't deal with him now selling for peanuts. Exactly, man. At some point, I think it's a bit of Gareth Southgate prefect vibes in that anyone who answers back, you're out. You know, could you imagine, bro? You've got to be able to handle strong person. It just feels like safe people pick safe people in that. Chambers is safe. Nene is safe, and you're picking your former teammates at that. You're not picking guys that have something to say about things, man. In my opinion, anyways. And the one players he was given chance after chance after chance after chance, they let you down, and half of them are trying to go, man. I don't think Joe saw both his brothers getting released as a motivation. Chris left for what it's worth. He was offered a deal, went Benfica. I just think the penny finally dropped for Joe in that, I need to start getting gassed off playing the occasional Europa League and them things there. If I want to develop, I need to do what I need to do. The man is frustrated. Wolves came in for him, denied the move. Man tried to fight for his career. I mean, to be honest, you can't keep someone above their will, innit? Let's be real. Although I agree with you, the club didn't put a gun to Ainsley Maitland-Niles' head. You know, he could have left, but he's listened to what Arteta or somebody said. Now, that's their fault for lying to him, but it's his fault for believing it. He should have said, nope, thank you for playing me in the Community Shield. I need to go play football now. I need to. But he didn't, because he thought, you know what, well, Arteta's full season, it is what it is. These things happen in football. It happens all the time at all clubs. I'm pretty sure some fans support other clubs and they have their own stories. So it is what it is, man. It's a very interesting one, man. And clearly, you know me, I'm passionate about these youth players, man. He needs to seize his future. All of them seize your future. In the present day as well, where young players maybe moving a bit more on from Ainsley Maitland-Niles are just pawns in the club's arsenal. They don't care. These clubs don't care about you. They don't care about you. You know, there'll be other talented players. You're just a pawn. Seize your future. And this go even people at academy level. I see it all the time. How many times have you seen a talented player? He's got a year left. He signs a new deal. They lie to him about first team opportunities and whatnot. Couple of years he's released. Kyle Scott of Chelsea comes to mind, whether he was levels or not. Don't seize your have a proactive future. Because for me, whether Ainsley might leave and it's the wrong decision, but if I want to leave or I want to stay, you want to do it because you do it. You want to look. I would want to look back at the end of my career and say, "Yo, this happened, successful failure for me. It weren't other person's thing." Be proactive. Take chances. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You've got one career. It needs to be proactive. Seize your feet. And that goes for all these young players. Even Balogun. Don't let them gas you. Don't let Arteta gas you about, yo, you're the future, you're this, that. You probably are. I hope you are. But look at the maths. 40 games next season. If Lacazette and Aubameyang stay, I hope you get football. But are you getting substantial football? Is that enough to probably develop to the top level? Only time will tell. But don't let them sell dreams to you. Because it's Arsenal's proactive now. Now we've got Balogun tied to a new deal. He might become the next guy. He might not. We've got him tied. Who cares? Balogun might come. I hope it works out. But if it doesn't, he might think, what would happen if I went to a Stuttgart or whatever? Don't let them lie to you, Don't let them lie to you. And sometimes you've got to be cruel to be kind. And that goes for these young players that you see me do interviews with, they see me chat with them, they've got us, it's everybody, me, I care about you football. So they need to be proactive in sealing their futures, man. And you look at it now, look at Jadon Sancho. Everyone's the same, but the same premise. Sometimes moving makes it wrong, is wrong. But for me, if I move and the signing and the move doesn't work out, I would be cool with that because I wanted to. The club didn't force me nowhere. I wasn't kept against my will. I did that because I did that. Successful failure. And I think too many footballers, young ones, for a period in their careers, they just go through life not being proactive, listening to the sweet nothings being whispered in their ears and whatnot. And then ultimately, they act surprised when something hasn't happened. Seize your future. Sign yourself. You see these young players. This is why I rate these young players now. Sancho could have joined, there's bare young players that have joined Borussia Dortmund and it didn't work. Sancho could have left for Borussia Dortmund, Jadon Sancho, and it might not have worked out. People would have said, why didn't you stay under Pep and this and that? That weren't his story. His story weren't the same as Phil Foden. He saw an opportunity, he grabbed it, It is what it is. Seize your futures, though, man. Up until a point, don't let them lie to you. For me, if I get to 18 to 20 years of age and it's looking a bit iffy, then I'm keeping it moving, if I'm honest with you lot. But that's just me, man. Love the passing, DG. Come on, man. I love the youth footballers, man. DG cares more for the youth than Arteta does. DG for Hayland under 23s. Hey, to be fair, Arteta does care for them, You might not see, he does care for them. I'm telling you that on authority. Like, he does care for them. But there's caring and then there's having the balls to play them. No real good player wants to play for Arteta. It's a career downgrade for them. Fair enough. Exactly. Angel Gomez. United weren't rating his thing. Now, look. Seize yourself. Sign yourself. But DG, though, don't you think he'll be sold anyways? I personally think he's gone. I thought this move, I didn't think we'd see this Ainsley Maitland-niles interview. I thought he already had one eye on leaving anyways. He changed agents. You don't change agents unless you want to move or you feel one agent's able to offer you something that the other wasn't. We heard there was some commercial reasons behind that. Obviously, he was getting call-ups for England around them times there. But you don't change agents. This hasn't come overnight. This has been the last couple of years for Ainsley. Yeah. So he's known this is a thing. Last summer, he was on moving. You didn't move. So the thought should have been there. Cool. The manager said you're going to play. First half of the season, it's a bookie one. He lied to you. You've then moved. I'm sure I speak for everyone when we thought that move to West Bromwich Albion. Yeah, us Hayland enthusiasts, we had small hope that he'd return. And I still hope he does and he plays and it goes on. My small hope is that somehow I wake up. The beef has been blessed with Guendouzi. The beef has been blessed with Matteo Guendouzi. The beef has been blessed with Maitland. Who else? Guendouzi, Maitland, Torreira now wants to stay. I want all these men at the club, people. But same way, that's not how the cookie crumbles, people. You know, so he's known he wants to move. I'm pretty sure we all thought, cool, the move to West Brom. You know what? Go and show your stuff. Put yourself in the shop window. If West Brom stay up, they might take you on a permanent, or the other Premier League clubs will have a look at you, which we've heard recently. Wolves and Palace are still onto him, as well as Southampton and these sort of clubs there. 353 of you hit the like button. So I would have thought that move would be to put you in the shop window. Sure, I would have thought with one eye, you know, open, you got to focus on the season. But that last half of the season where he was at West Brom, I would have thought he's thinking, yeah, you know what, I'm putting myself in the shop window. I've got hope that Arsenal play me and use me and stuff, but I'm putting myself in the shop window. Talking to my agent, yo, have you spoken to any middlemen on behalf of clubs? Is that club interested in me? Cool. I beg you, set up a meeting with Arsenal, because I need to know their plans for me. I wouldn't mind staying and playing there. If they ain't got plans for me, then I'm moving. You get where I'm going with that? So that's where I'm at with that, man. And this is where the advisors come into things as well. I'm not saying he hasn't got a good agent. I'm just saying sometimes it's not a coincidence. Sometimes you lot will see a player, and I know you've all seen it because we talk about it. How's he got to move there? How's he doing this? And another player, why in his career? Sometimes you're only as good as the agent, you know, whoever can finesse a move for you. You know, it's not always that, but sometimes it comes down to that. And I think within the COVID market, all these agents are going to have to show that they're levels. And if I'm Ainsley Maitland-niles, bro, I'll say to my agent, what am I paying you for? Why am I again? You got to remember, agents have friends. Is it unbeknownst to believe that an agent has a journalist friend at the Telegraph, set up an Ainsley Maitland-niles and him meeting to indirectly put pressure? If that's what they did, then cool, fair enough. But I'd say to my agent, yo, I'm not being funny. What am I paying you for? Like, what am I paying you for? Like, with respect, what am I paying you for? You know, I'm paid to be a footballer, manager / agent after managing it. You're meant to look after my interests. You know, just from not even being an agent, just from looking at my season and looking at my Arsenal career, you should already be knowing what we're trying to do in the summer, or the questions that I, as a client, if I'm Maitland, need to be answered. Only time will tell if they're taking heed of these things, people. We'll have to see. Anyways, though, I'm very proud of the fact that there's 300 odd of you locked in. Please make sure you're hitting that like button, people. Where are we at in terms of likes? 182. So let's move closer to 200. That's our goal for the day, people. Feels like when we have Gnabry, Ox and Walcott, we all know that Walcott should have left, but we chose to let Gnabry go, and look what happened. And again, sent Gnabry on a rubbish loan, playing him 23s, you know. Bayern Munich has said to him, in 2 years, you're going to play first team. We're going to house you at Bremen or wherever he went. You're going to go Hoffenheim on loan, and then you're gone. Do you get it? You get it? Ox is a bit different, guys. Thing didn't bang. Willock show class at Newcastle this season. One of the better players for the Maggies. Big up DG. Man's got good content. Jake, I appreciate that. And that's why Joe Willock isn't in this situation. Joe Willock's one is different. He's saying, oh, should I stay? I want to play for Arsenal. Do I go back? Oh, I like what Newcastle is doing. There might be other clubs interested in me. You know, they're talking about Joe. You know, there was a question about, before the season finished, you know, Arteta had pure questions to answer about Joe. You know, Ainsley, you're out of sight, out of mind to a degree. Ainsley Maitland-niles is a quality baller. Arteta seems to have faith in the wrong players. Paul, I appreciate that. It was just Paul and a couple of you. I know a lot of you care, but generally, I'm just making the point. Nobody cares. It's what you do. You know, we've all got sub stories. The man is frustrated. Wolves came in for him, denied the man. The man's trying to fight for his career. Let's keep a bit of perspective. I agree with you, but he's 23. You know, you ain't got to be the finished article. But like Wenger said, you should be arriving. I'm sorry, but at 23, we shouldn't be talking about, are you a right back, are you a midfielder, whatever. You should be a midfielder able to play fullback, or a fullback able to play there. You should kind of be coming into your own now. And this is where, for him to come into his own, he probably needs to keep it moving. I badly want him to stay. Like I said, Ainsley Maitland-niles, Joel Willock, Matteo Guendouzi, completely different, but Torreira, I think they should all be part of the squad. But as you lot all know, there's been many different, what's the word I'm looking for? Someone save me. Little twists and turns and politics, which have led to, obviously, finding ourselves where we're at right now. So, yeah, it is what it is in that regards. I love for that 868. It was just a comment, man. It's just a comment. Would you keep Willock? I want to keep Willock, but I'm open to selling him. If selling Joe means I'm able to find put money towards another number 10, or a more established, more rounded, more developed, more experienced number 8, then I think we've got to be cruel to be kind. But admittedly, I want to sell other man before Joe. I think he could be used in the squad. Where it's a bit political for Joe, though, is like Joe might sit there and go, do you know what? I hear that, but I might only be third choice at best. You want to bring in a midfielder or a couple. Am I going to get game time? It's all fun and games playing me, but I want to play on a regular. I want to feel important in the team. And I'm sure Arteta will move heaven and earth to do such. But yeah, man, it's one of them ones there. I would keep him, but again, if people need to be sold to raise funds, then you got to look at the Halen boys. 8 notes from Martinez: wanted to compete for Argentina spot, so he went to Villa to get guaranteed game time. I think Martinez is a bit different, bro. I think they said to Martinez, "You're not playing, bro." Like, I think they said, I think Martinez. I have Martinez down better yet as a fighter. We all do. Man's a serious fighter. He's a fighter. You know, he's been fighting for his career for time at Arsenal. If you've been fighting for like 10 years for an Arsenal career, you finally got a hand on it. Sorry, you're finally doing your thing. Why are you going to leave? I don't think Arteta said, you know what, may the best man win. You and Leno, I like you both. Only you, it's up to you if you want to be first or second choice goalkeeper. I think both of them would have said, all right, cool, bet. We're on that. And Martinez would have relished that. I think it was made abundantly clear to Martinez, you're not, the cup thing is your thing. You might get opportunities like last year, but Leno's my number one. And you can see the problem with doubling down on one guy like that. I mean, when it was Courtois and Czech, at least other teams, they run it for a year. Let someone get dismayed, you know. And lo and behold, Martinez going from strength to strength. Leno owes you nothing. Says, I want to, you know, one career to last and that. Leno says, I want to keep it moving, you know. And now suddenly, pardon my language, you're pissed because, you know, who are you going to bring in if Leno keeps it moving? You know, we've been linked with Onana, but at the end of the day, he's got the little band thing going on. So what's going on there? What is going on there, really and truly? It's boy. Like, really?